Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to give the video a big thumbs up, and share the broadcast. Yes, thank you so much, family. Now, certainly you all know that I have been discussing very problematic elements in Black society, Black media. Yes, voices that are members of the old dead Black media. Why do we say that? The old dead Black media who's losing influence and ratings. These are the groups that have millions and millions of dollars connected to the multi-billion-dollar Democrat Party and some of their institutions that support them, like establishment and legacy media. Yes, these folks have access to all kinds of money and resources, yet they are losing their impact. They're losing their influence. Yes, they've been propped up and they have been forced onto society, specifically for Black Americans, to make you think that they actually speak for us. Yes. And of course, when they kept forcing their narratives and agenda on us and they refused to do what we demanded that they do for giving them our votes, like providing tangibles to Black Americans, to stop prioritizing and giving tangibles and resources and money and food and clothing and housing and jobs and grants and scholarships and thousands of dollars for down payments on homes and all kinds of other stuff. The moment we demanded that these folks be held accountable, yes, for not delivering for us, they continue to put out these voices to make you think that they actually speak for us. And of course, we proved in no limited time when the Democrats lost the White House, they lost the Senate, they lost the House of Representatives. That lets you know that the Joy Ann Reids of the world and the other Black talking heads on these major networks and cable networks were not actually speaking for us. That tells you everything you need to know. We're out of complete and total desperation. After Joy Reid, of course, got fired from MSNBC, look at my previous broadcast here. Just put it in the search engine. You'll learn all about what happened there. And after Angela Rye, her contract, they didn't bring her back to CNN some time back. Angela Rye was one of the regular contributors for CNN. Angela Rye also, I believe, worked on Capitol Hill as an aide of some sort as well. So she's an attorney. So they missed those little spaces and stuff. And so the people that they were forcing on us, the people that they chose to speak for, rejected them. And we knew they would. I said so years and years and years and years in advance. So how is it that your legacy media establishment folks clicked in with the DNC, clicked in with the Democrats, clicked in with Washington? How is it that they got it so wrong? Somebody's lying. It ain't us. Family, she came up with Angela Rye with the idea to do a 24-hour State of the People marathon, to where they was just on alternative media, just talking 24 hours leading up to Trump's State of the Union a few weeks ago. Oh my God, I suffered. That one podcast, that clip that that we're providing to you now, that was a few hours long, family. I mean, I had to stop and go, stop and go, just suffered. Now I want you to share in the suffering by watching this brief clip. Watch this.
And or what we also would call a State of the Union. It will be his first in this second term. But we know there's a great deal of misinformation and disinformation that's taking place, and it will be coming from him. We're going to pre-sponsor and then response after. Stateofthepeople.media is live and on the air. Share this link wherever you're watching it, on whatever channel. Share it with your loved ones, family, and friends. And I have the privilege of opening us and throwing it to two dynamic warrior queens, one of whom just a week ago we rallied in support of her. We welcome to stateofthepeople.media to kick us off our dear warrior queen, Joy Ann Reid, and alongside her, the host of Native Land Podcast, who really came up with the idea that we would do this in 24 hours, and then we organized it in 48. So bless her heart for challenging us, and somehow we made it happen. That's Angela Rye. So welcome to get us started on stateofthepeople.media, Joy Ann Reid and Angela Rye. Hey, sisters.
Thank you, Reverend Mark.
Yeah.
I don't hear Joy.
Can we hear Joy?
I don't hear her.
She's on.
I don't hear her. Well, while we wait to address Joy's audio, I just want to tell everyone how much I love Black people. It is so important for us to understand this moment and what is being required of us, and that is to lean in and work together. Yes, Joy Reid is no longer on MSNBC, but today she's here with our folks because this is where she always is. She has the heart of the people. And Joy, I hope that your audio comes in soon. You cut me off whenever it comes on, but I want to just make sure that folks know why we did this. Tomorrow, well, now, today, later on tonight, Donald Trump will address the country in what is called a joint address of Congress. Normally, we call it State of the Union, regardless of if it's his first address or not. But he will, at 9 p.m. Eastern, address the country. And we thought it was imperative to provide people an alternative space to ensure that they could hear the truth. We are in the state of emergency. I've been saying all day that Congresswoman Winmore took the House floor a couple of weeks ago to say the House is on fire. And the truth of it is that the country is on fire. And so we've rallied together to come together for 24 hours, a marathon that will be streamed on multiple sites, including stateofthepeople.media, where you will hear from some of the most critical voices of our time, from the NAACP president, Derek Johnson, to the NAACP LDF lead, Janae Nelson. You will hear from Kimberly Crenshaw. You'll hear from Mark Morial. You will hear from Hakeem Jeffries, Yvette Clark, Joyanne Reed, Brittany Packnett Cunningham, Dr. David Johns, and so many more. It is imperative that we turn our hearts toward one another and we stand up and gird ourselves for this very significant fight. It begins with the foundation of truth, and that is what we seek to bring to you for the next 24 hours. Joy, please tell me your audio is working.
I think it is. It's working. It's working. Look, technology decided to be kind. Well, thank you, Chief of Staff to Black America, Angela Rye. It's always an honor to be with you because when I tell you that this sister loves our people and I love our people. Look, Black people we are the most resilient people in this country. We believe in this thing called democracy with a belief that is not really founded in our experience. But I think what's really important for y'all to think about as you are going into approaching tomorrow, number one, why does it matter, right? You know, the idea that we're in a crisis of democracy, I think is clear. But the question for our community is, what does that actually mean in your actual life? And what that means is not just that you're seeing this really insane reality show being put on by the White House and by the owner of Tesla and Twitter. And it is a reality show. It's literally cast like a reality show. It's cast for TV. Former reality show person is running the Federal Aviation Administration. A former Fox Weekend host. I'm not against TV. I was on cable. A Fox Weekend host is running the Defense Department. Dr. Oz is in charge of health along with RFK Jr., whose only, qualification is that he comes from a rich and famous family. It's all reality TV, but that is designed to make you look away and think it's just a show that doesn't matter to you. One of the things we're going to do in this next 24 hours is explain how a crisis in democracy actually affects the hood, how it affects you.
Family, do you see how Angela Rye desperately tries to rehabilitate Joy Reid's reputation? Do you hear Joy talking about some yes about the hood and Angela Rye talking about, well, first of all, I love Black people. And Joy, she belongs in this space. These are the spaces that she's, basically intimating that she's always been a part of these spaces. No, she hasn't. Remember, I showed you broadcasts right here from a broadcast that Joy Reid did in 2019 and many, many others. But one specific example, we gave you receipts and proof where she put up a chart specifically naming foundational Black Americans to target us, to undermine us, to mock us. Remember, they were calling us bots. Remember, they were mocking and wanting us to stand down from our reparations demands. And if the Democrat Party didn't provide us with tangibles like they did for everybody else, that we would not vote for them. She is desperately trying to fix this woman's reputation. Now, Angela Rye, this is really rich coming from her when, ma'am, they didn't even bring you back to CNN. This is crazy, fam. This is not just about ratings, because when you're dealing with media, as we know, views can go up and down. It's not that. It's about who they're working for. And those that beat up on us are rejected by the very folks that they told us to embrace, is what we're trying to teach you and tell you. All of this was cringeworthy. I was looking. How many of y'all know sometimes people can be real mean as trolls and stuff in the box, but then sometimes some of the comments can be very informative. Yes, well, these comments were very informative because they was calling out the old dead black media. Of course, the third person that you see on the screen that introduced those two, beloved, he's a familiar face, Mr. Rev. He goes by Reverend Mark from Make It Plain and Black Press USA. Of course, these people are just, child, they don't listen to us. I don't know. I mean, when are they going to get the memo? They're deceiving themselves. They're in denial. Well, some of y'all in the chat was giving them that everlasting word. Somebody in here said 24 hours is wild. This is wild. Y'all was mocking them to us. What in the world they doing 24-hour panel for? Somebody else was saying this Zoom call smells of desperation. Somebody else, I was doing too much right here. Somebody said more fear pandering. Y'all, I was cracking up so hard. One of the other comments, family, somebody said, this looks like some type of victim support group. Y'all were going crazy. Somebody else said, what the hell am I watching? Several people liked on that and gave replies. Somebody else said, fake, feelings, FOH. Y'all just kept going on and on and on. Somebody else said, yeah, nothing against the hood, but that's not where I live or know where I came from. George Reid sat up there and told me something from the hood and black people and child, stop. It's not working. What gets me is that we showed our influence amongst the people on the street. See, they despise the least of us. When I say least of us, it doesn't mean we're least. That's a phrase and the terms that they use to describe us. We're already in these spaces. You have voices like the Vicki Dillard broadcast, our brother Phil Scott right here, and others. I've certainly been doing this for quite a few years. They're not embracing those of us that have already been in these spaces and that have the ear of the actual people. Instead, they want to come invade and infiltrate and corrupt these spaces. That's the problem, is that they despise us. It's one thing for you to come here because, of course, they rejected mainstream media, cable media, establishment media, and establishment systems rejected y'all. So that's why out of desperation, you're trying to come over in these parts. That's fine. Start your own little stuff. But here's the thing. Why would you ignore us? Those of us that flexed our weight and influence during the elections. It means you're not listening to us. It means you're not B1 Black first. It means you're D1 Democrat first. And that's a problem. Because we're not supposed to be tethered to a party, Republican or Democrat, but to issues that substantially deal with the uplifting of the masses of our people. And we're going to call you out every time when you show yourself to be an enemy. Yes? My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. Be sure to join my free upcoming mastermind April 5th. And go to my website at vickiplanet.com to save your absolutely free seat. We're going to be talking about how the U.S. government has been doing black magic on its military bases. Hint, hint. And then I'm going to give you some update about spirit wars. It doesn't matter what your religion is, your spiritual system is. Beloved, these are universal principles and information that you need to know is absolutely free, no obligation. Go to vickiplanet.com. Of course, share the broadcast. I can't wait